Greetings and welcome to the Bondi Scrapper channel. Today's video, gosh, it's the elephant in the room. Those keen-eyed of you would have observed that sitting in the room, just around about there, has been this air conditioner, and it's been there for quite some time. And I thought, well, today, finally, you're just going to have to get on and do it. Get it over and done with. It's been partially pulled to bits, I guess. I pulled all the electricals out, or as many as I could get to easily from up here. The back tinware has come off it. Oh, no point turning you sideways, you'll go sideways. Back tinware's come off it. What do we got next? Well, there's a few Phillips head screws to undo to get the front tinware off, and then we'll go from there. So that came off easy enough, and yeah, there's a couple of little plastic clips here to undo to get that front vent off, and that fan shroud there, that's plastic, that needs to come off. Possibly the handles over here, and that'll make it clean stainless, clean sheet steel. Otherwise, you can just chuck it in as shred. It's up to you. It's all easy. Next, well, there was a screw just there. I pulled that out off camera, so that got that bit off, so that can go in down in my pile of steel things, and in a minute I'll undo that. The fan there, I think, is the next logical thing to take off. From my past experience, that will be a right hand thread, so it'll be lefty tighty, righty loosey. So let's see what happens there, trying to get that off. Often I just get the hammer out and belt them, and that is very brittle plastic and just goes everywhere, but yeah, it also makes a mess. So that's a good electric motor. I'll probably snip them off and just chuck it in with my electric motors. Some of you might wish to pull it down to get the copper, not me. Some nice little anti-vibration mounts there if you're inclined to collect those things. Did you see any of that? I don't know. Anyway, here we go again, electric motor. Straight in with electric motors for me. The compressor area has this insulation tucked around it, and all you've got to do is just basically peel it away. It's just kind of tucked in around the compressor. Maybe there's a couple of cable ties, but most of it you just kind of grab it and pull it out. So that's pretty simple. And then try and find any wiring and snip the wiring away if you can, and then you can start copper recovery. And watch out for this black stuff. It can be sticky and horrible. It's basically a bituminous substance, and best kept away from, in my opinion. But you know, what's that mean? My opinion. As always, my videos are entertainment, so you're probably going to see quite a few mistakes, even though I don't set out to do that. Now I reckon that thing that I just took off then is, it just feels like a solenoid of some description. It's got weight to it, and it's got a couple of wires going into it, so I just feel that that's a solenoid, and it's probably got some good wire in it. Something worth investigating. But bit of wire wherever you are. I just came into the top of the compressor. There was a little plastic cap there, removed it, and there's some wire joiners, whatever you call those damn things. Oh, good God, you're in shot. Who'd have thought? Yeah, but that's another bit of wire. There was, as I said, there was a whole heap more, but I've already kind of ripped that off. Because I can. Because I did. So there was a panel coming up here of sheet steel. These charge and discharge pipes were sticking out of that panel. They were held in by a couple of 10mm bolts. Whipped them out. There was a couple more Phillips head screws floating around, so I took them out, and then the trick was that the whole thing just slid sideways to get the panel out. So that was okay. And now I've just basically got into the realms of thoughts and prayers, which is, just starting to snip things off. I assume that when they make this thing, both the heat exchanger here and the compressor are built up on a bench, and then they're just plonked down onto the base as a module, because there's no obvious connector there. It's all just kind of all pipes all soldered up. You can see it's just a rat's nest of copper, which bit of a pain, but then again fantastic, because look at all the copper we're going to recover out of this without having to work too hard. Of course, the other thing with air conditioners is you've got to make sure that there's no gas in them when you start working on them, because I can assure you, if you snip a gas line that's got pressure in it, Freon will come out, and man, it makes a mess because there is oil mixed with it, and it's just a freaking nightmare, I'll tell you. Don't ask me how I know this. Let's just say I don't touch too many things with the compressors these days if I know that they're fully charged. Anyway, I'm just going to start cutting copper pipes with the side cutters. Cut them, crimp them, give them a bit of a twist, and then they just kind of break off. So I've just had a look to see if I can pull the heat exchanger off, and there's one Phillips head up the back, so I'm just going to get that. Normally these compressors are held in by 3 bolts, studs, screws, whatever you want to call them, around the base. They'll be on a rubber mount, and looking at these ones, these are just totally cactus, as was the rest of the unit. 13mm, ½ inch is generally the size of it. So that's undone. You can see by the base here that it is just full of rubbish. So we want to get rid of that as quickly as possible. We don't want to be raising any dust, making a mess. So I can pull this compressor out, which will have some weight to it. Let's see. But you can do it one-handed, and with the weak hand, so that's always a plus. There it is there. So we need to unwrap that, and then we can snip away some copper. And look, personally, I don't strip out compressors. There's just not enough return, and they're paying reasonable money. God, was $1.50 a kilo when it went the other week, and I've got another one sitting here as well. So there's probably, I don't know, $10 worth of compressors sitting here without getting too too excited about the whole thing. Anyway, I'm going to cut off this screw right here because it won't undo. So I'll come in underneath with the grinder, cut him off, and that way I can pack all this sheet steel away nice and flat. So I spent a couple of hours tidying up all the bits and pieces off that air conditioner, and the haul was quite good. You know, I did have to go through the process of cutting all the ends off, and I've just noticed that I haven't taken this end off properly, but the ends off the copper aluminium radiators. So I've got to tidy that up really quickly, but that'll just bang off with a hammer. That's what I did with the other one. And so 3 copper aluminium radiators there, which is very nice. But going through everything, I got that little box of dirty copper. So that's copper with like solder on it and things like that. I think you Americans out there call it solder, but solder. And dirty copper, let's call it, is around about $10 a kilo at the moment. I haven't been to the scrapyard for a couple of months, and I can't envisage going for at least a month because we're in lockdown, and that would just be foolish. But there was 0.75 of a kilo there, and so $7.50 of that. Here's all the clean copper. There we go there, and not too bad there. $10.50 a kilo at the moment for that. That's what I'm estimating. There's a kilo there, so $10.50 worth. That's nice and easy. There's a bit of brass in there, which still needs a little bit of cleaning up, but it's also dirty, and I can't be bothered getting my hands dirty right at the moment. Brass, dirty brass, around $6 a kilo at the moment. There's half a kilo there, $3 worth. So not too bad there. There was the electric motor that runs a big fan on it, and electric motors at the moment are around about $1 a kilo. 1.4 kilos of that, so $1.40. So nothing amazing, but every little bit helps. The actual compressor of the air conditioner, there it is there. My scale only goes to 8 kilograms, and it puts the scale into error. So there's at least 8 kilos there, and I'm thinking, you know, let's call it 10, but yeah, it's 8 kilos plus. Fridge compressors, air conditioning compressors are getting 65 cents a kilo at the moment. I think the other day I said they were $1. I just pulled that figure out of the sky, quite obviously, but the other week when I went up there, 65 cents a kilo. There's 8 kilos plus. You know, as I've said here, can't weigh it. Let's call it $5.20 minimum. And finally, the copper aluminium radiators in there. And look, I haven't put in a copper aluminium radiator for so long. They were $2.50, and that was like 2 years ago, 18 months, 2 years ago. I'm saying they're around about $4 a kilo at the moment. I think that's probably being conservative. A lovely 7.3 kilos worth there, and $29. And that gives us a total for that external unit of $56.60. I don't think that's too bad. That works out at probably close to $20 an hour, about $18 an hour for the amount of effort put in. So that's pretty good. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that one, and hit the like button if you did, and subscribe if you feel like it, and above all, I'll see you in the next video. Bye.